Daniel Day-Lewis may be in the history books as the only person to win 3 Oscars for Best Actor, but his real pride and joy is being a father to his 3 sons. The Lincoln star welcomed his first child, Gabriel Kane Day-Lewis, in 1995 with his then-girlfriend, French actress Isabelle Adjani. 3 years later, Daniel and his wife, filmmaker Rebecca Miller, welcomed their first son, Ronan Day-Lewis, in 1998. The youngest of the Day-Lewis clan, Cashel Day-Lewis, followed in 2002. Though Daniel maintains a private life, especially since having retired from acting in 2017, he did open up about parenthood in 2008, telling the Daily Mail that his life had been enriched in every single way by my boys. The actor also described himself as quite a hands-on parent and said that, despite the public perception of his preference to live in rural Ireland instead of Hollywood, he was not in hiding behind closed doors. He challenged, "How can you be a recluse in a house full of children?" Here's everything to know about Daniel Day-Lewis's sons Cashel, Ronan, and Gabriel Kane. Gabriel Kane Day-Lewis, 30. Gabriel Kane is Daniel's oldest son, whom he welcomed on April 9, 1995, with his ex-girlfriend, French actress Isabelle Adjani. Though he was born in New York City, Gabriel Kane grew up living with his mother in Paris before moving to Ireland to spend his early teenage years with his father and brothers. At 16, he moved back to NYC with Daniel, Ronan and Cashel, and he's primarily lived in the city during his adulthood. After becoming a self-taught musician, learning piano and guitar as a child, Gabriel Kane briefly attended Berklee College of Music in Boston. He ultimately decided to drop out, telling an actor Despairs in December 2021, "I had no foundation of classical training whatsoever, and I could feel myself falling behind and really sort of despairing." Though Gabriel Kane continued pursuing a music career after he left Berklee, he ultimately found that it wasn't the right path for him. "I lack the ability to make myself as vulnerable as it takes to, really be able to make a career out of it," he explained. "It started stressing me out more than giving me that sense of relief I found when I first started writing songs." After deciding to continue music purely as a hobby, Gabriel Kane followed in his parents' footsteps and pivoted to acting. His love for theater began as a teenager when he was involved in school productions in Paris and Ireland. In 2022, Gabriel Kane wrapped his first feature film, Terror on the Prairie, but the journey to his acting debut wasn't an easy one. He told an actor Despairs he'd been auditioning for 6 years before being cast in the Western film, but added that the slow start to his career was partially on him. "I wanted to do high-quality projects, some roles I could really sink my teeth into, a good script, good director, good cast. I've always been so selective about the stuff that I've gone to audition for or read or tape for," Gabriel Kane shared. He added, "I feel like maybe my selectiveness could be misconstrued as arrogance or being overly confident, but it's not that. It's just that I love film so much that I don't want to be a part of something that I don't love." As he was pursuing an acting career, Gabriel Kane also began modeling to help pay his bills. Despite being the son of 2 award-winning actors, he said he's been financially independent since he was 19. After a chance encounter with Karl Lagerfeld on the streets of Paris, Gabriel Kane walked the runway for Chanel, arm in arm with Julianne Moore, no less. He's also walked for Alfred Dunhill and shot campaigns for Ermenegildo Zegna and Hudson Jeans. Ronan Day-Lewis, 27. Ronan is the older son of the 2 children Daniel shares with his wife, Rebecca Miller, who is the daughter of legendary playwright Arthur Miller. Born on June 14, 1998, 2 years after Daniel and Rebecca married, Ronan grew up in rural Ireland. He graduated from Yale University in 2020 before moving to NYC to pursue a career in the arts. He ultimately followed in both of his parents' footsteps in the film industry. Although he favors his mother's preference of commanding sets behind the camera as a writer and director, Ronan wrote and directed the short film The Sheep and the Wolf in 2018, which won Best Independent Short at the Independent Filmmakers Showcase Film Festival in Los Angeles. He also directed a series of music videos in 2019 for the Philip Glass album Les Enfants Terribles. However, his biggest project came about in 2025, a collaboration with his father. 7 years after declaring his retirement from acting in 2017, Daniel announced his return to the big screen for Ronan's feature directorial debut, Anemone, which premiered on October 3rd. The father-son duo co-wrote the script, and Daniel starred as the lead actor in the film. When asked at the movie's premiere whether it was odd to be directed by his son, Daniel told People, Well, if I stepped outside of it to look in that way, yeah, I definitely would have probably been stopped in my tracks. But luckily, we were both so inside of the work, inside the story that we were trying to tell, he said. Yeah, there were days on set that we looked at each other and just couldn't believe that we were actually getting to do this thing. But other than that, we were just getting on with it. Though Ronan is focused on directing, he's also a painter. His first domestic solo exhibition debuted in NYC in 2023, and his international solo exhibition debuted in Hong Kong in October 2024. My work is definitely in dialogue with romanticism. I'm drawn to this idea of projecting human emotion onto landscapes and places, Ronan told Artnet in August 2023. I call it punk romanticism. Cashel Day-Lewis, 23. Cashel is the youngest of Daniel's sons, the second of whom he shares with Rebecca. Born in May 2002, he was raised in rural Ireland with his brothers. As a young boy, Cashel learned to play traditional Irish music on the fiddle, which molded the trajectory of his schooling and early career. My dad was always playing trad in the house, he recalled during an April 2025 interview with the Sunday Times. Aside from trad, there was American folk. Joan Baez was playing a lot. Bob Dylan. A core memory is hearing Enya on the radio all the time. That ethereal, otherworldly sound influenced me, subconsciously at least. Cashel spent his teenage years attending Calhoun School in NYC, where he wrote many compositions that the New York Philharmonic performed. After high school, he moved to Ohio to pursue music composition and violin at the Oberlin Conservatory of Music. The youngest of the Day-Lewis clan relocated to Ireland after graduating from college, working in a pub while writing music for the National Concert Hall (NCH). In April 2025, Cashel's first Irish composition commission, Missing Ballybough, was played in concert by NCH residents Crash Ensemble. While applying for master's programs at various American institutions, Cashel is content to serve pints in Ireland, calling his post-college international move the gap year I never took. He told The Times, "For a few years, I wanted to see what it was like to play Irish trad music and live in Ireland for an extended period of time. I hadn't done that since I was 9. The crazy environment of a pub has been a nice change from the conservatory."